The power transformer is one of the most important components within the transmission and distribution grid, and I say that because the transformer has the longest lead time of any component in the transmission grid.
I am here because I like to be a part of a team that works hard. I like to be a part of a team that is progressive, and so we're very proud of our facility.
The most passionate thing for me is satisfying the customer's needs. Customer comes first.
Just that I love working here and I love the team that we've got so far, and as we hire in new people, they've been perfect.
Everybody in the facility has been trained. You can take a look, you'll see that we're moving the expertise from one country to the other. So this is where the transformer begins its life. This is where we make the low voltage, tertiary, and high voltage windings. We have many different winding machines. We have the horizontal machines, and we've got the vertical machines as well. The vertical machines were built specifically for this facility so that they could be detached in the low bay here and moved forward to the high bay and then brought to the marrying facilities.
My name is Zachary Booth. I'm a supervisor of the coil winding and installation department. So the process is on getting my area completed. It starts with preparation of starting from the cylinders, insulation parts. From there, get your conductor ready, loaded up on the spools for the conductor holders. From there, you'll prep the wire, get it ready. You'll run the wire. You'll get it to the mandrel itself, and then from there, we'll just start winding. In the winding, there's different steps such as inside transpositions, outside transpositions, applying the R spacers when they're needed per section. From there, once we complete the winding after, again, all the transpositions, inside, outside, all the additional processes, we have to do checks on the lower half of the winding. Once we get to 100% of the lower half of the winding, we check again. Once they're all done, we have to do the acid dipping on the ones that do require acid dipping. At that point, we finish all that, we're ready to hand off to the marrying area, the phase assembly guys.
So while the coils are being wound, we begin to stack the core for the specific transformer that's being manufactured. These are done in parallel so that when the core is done, the coils can be installed onto the core as quickly as possible so that we can complete the internals of the transformer efficiently. All the core is hand stacked. It's pre-cut. We will then upright the core and we'll mate it to the coils where the upper yoke will then be installed, and then we'll frame it.
My name is Ian Gowan, and I'm core stacking lead technician. In the core stacking department, we stack the core steel for inside the transformer. When we receive core steel for stacking, quantity is checked, height of each step is checked. Quantity is the biggest deal. It'll have to do with your overall height. Our core stacking height has to be so specific because we have coils that are lowered around what we stack, so they have to be very precise. Our stacking technique usually consists of 14 to 15 steps, all with a width difference of 10 to 20 milli. Reasoning for that is to make a core leg that is rounded.
So once the core and coil assembly are mated in the clean room, they will then go through the vapor phase drying process where moisture will be pulled out.
My name is Randy Hubbard. I am the final phase disassembly and welding manufacturing supervisor. From the time the tanks come into our tank department, our guys, well-skilled welders, unload, inspect these tanks for tolerances, specs, according to the customer's request. After we complete that, we'll start a rigorous cleaning and prepping these tanks for tank shield and other accessories being installed prior to it being moved out to the production floor.
So once the upper tank comes in from the weld shop, the core and coil assembly are attached to it, and the transformer begins taking shape with all the internal connections being made. And then once the lead assemblies and the internal connections are made, it's lifted into the lower tank where it's then welded through the weld shop, and then we'll go into external assembly where all of the ancillary devices and external devices will be attached to it. Radiators or coolers bushings, and any other external devices. It'll be oil filled and then processed. Once processed, it will then move into the test hall.
My name is Jamal Nelson. I do oil processing and final assembly and disassembly for Hyosung HICO. In oil processing, we do filtration with the oil, impregnate it with oil. That's the filtering process, and I just fill it up and pull a vacuum while I'm filling. And I drain it in the disassembly. But that's basically it in a nutshell.
My name is Kamisha Terrell, and I'm a quality inspector at Hyosung HICO. So DGAs are dissolved gas analysis samples. Oil samples are typically taken from the tank farm or the transformer. 15 milliliters of oil are placed in valves that are purged with argon. At that point, those valves are placed into a headspace which agitates those samples. The analytes are picked up by the detectors on the GC machine. Results are displayed on a chromatogram.
This test facility is one of the most modern facilities in the world, with capability of generating a 5.2 million volt lightning strike. We can do everything from routine ANSI IEEE C-grade testing to design verification testing. Testing is the most important part of the completion of the manufacturing of a power transformer because it's basically testing the integrity of the entire unit. The insulation level, the basic impulse level, the longevity of the transformer, all tested here on this test floor. Most customers want to witness those tests. Customers can sit there in customer suites and spend 2 days, 3 days witnessing tests and verification tests if necessary.
My name is John Adam Dower, and I am the test lab engineer for Hyosung HICO. We just run the routine tests and the tests that international specifications and the customer specifications decide that they want run. Special tests that customers may require. We might have to do leakage reactants or test step function tests that hasn't been done on any unit. So we have to figure out how to do those very specific tests. Even those, once you do it one time for the next unit, it's going to be the exact same. So in general, the testing process is pretty straightforward and easy.
Once the transformer is tested, it's moved to external assembly. Final testing, SFRA, and other test requirements. It'll move to external assembly where it's disassembled and packed and prepared for shipment.
My name is Jasmine Wilkins. I am a manufacturing technician for disassembly. The process of disassembly will be once we get done taking down the instrumentation, it is then moved on a pallet so that it can be touched up as far as paint-wise goes so that the cosmetics is according to the customer's needs. Once it is painted, and then it is moved to the crate shop where they crate up the components before it ships out. So we have to make sure that we have the dimensions and the weight of everything so that they can order the proper flatbed for the truck when it's being delivered to the customer.
So if you notice, all the cranes in this facility have been retrofitted with vacuum systems. So on the leading edge and the trailing edge of the crane, there's actually magnets that will pick up any kind of mill scale that's created by the wheel on the rail, and the vacuum will actually pick it up. We pay a lot of attention to cleanliness, especially on the clean side where the exposed core and coil are going to be.
My name is Ricky Brown. I am the Quality Assurance and Test Manager here at Hyosung HICO. Here at Hyosung HICO, we have a clean room area. Inside of that clean room area where all of our active parts are manufactured and assembled, we monitor temperature, humidity, and particles. So to ensure that we produce a quality product, these three items are kept in control through various ways throughout the facility. So we have particle counters which measure the particle counts throughout the clean room. We have tool control throughout the facility to ensure tools aren't lost or end up inside of transformers. We have temperature and humidity recorders that ensure the temperature and humidity throughout the facility remains within the clean room requirement. So contamination is a very big deal for us. So we have put all of these measures in place and we exercise them daily to ensure that contamination is kept in control and at an all-time low level.
My name is Joe Sean, and I am the operations manager. The one thing that we're doing is we're working on our contamination control from the construction project into our facility and keeping that separation. So right now, the construction project is purely external to the facility. There isn't any contamination that comes in. Soon we're going to cut an opening in the wall, and that will be the entry point from the existing facility into the new construction expansion. And before we do that, we're going to isolate the room that it's going to be having that door go into the new construction. And then once the door is cut, we also have our contamination control document that we use for our facility. We're going to apply the same principles from that document.
So Hyosung bought this facility, and we immediately began roughly a 25,000 square foot addition, which will include 2 vapor phase drying ovens.
I'm Brian Marshall. I'm the plant engineering and maintenance manager. So currently we are in the process of installing a lot of new equipment throughout the facility, growing and expanding our capacity with the new equipment installation, working through an expansion of the building itself to increase capacity for process flow.
So the expansion is to put in 2 new vapor phase dryers. So we currently have 1 vapor phase dryer that we're using for drying the windings, and we're using to drying the active parts after assemble. The new construction project, and with the vapor phases being installed, is we're going to use those 2 vapor phases to dry the active part before we in-tank into into the transformer tank. So the new construction project will house 2 vapor phases, and it will also have the capacity for a 3rd vapor phase in the future if we so choose to bring another one in.
Ty Harris, project manager and planner for Hyosung HICO. All of the equipment that we're installing, from winding machines to phase assembly tables, marrying machines, core stacking tables, etc., are vital to production even being able to do any work. So without those pieces of equipment, they would not be able to do the things they have to do. So what I'm doing is basically trying to streamline that and ensure that it stays on track.
Throughout the process of building transformers, from clean room all the way through the assembly process through test, we have several stages set up to where we perform in-process electrical testing to ensure that the winding, that all of the core steel that we're stacking, everything that we're assembling and put together actually remains in a good and functional condition before it gets to final acceptance testing. So that is performed throughout the facility, starting all the way from when we wind coils all the way till we get to final assembly. Our quality technicians are trained in this process. They know how to perform this process, and they do this process just about daily to ensure that our product remains good as it's assembled throughout the facility.
My name is Lori Hange, and I'm a logistics specialist with Hyosung HICO. The warehouse is basically, in my opinion, the heart of the factory. So all of the parts, big or small, for maintenance and everybody, come in through receiving. The guys out there work nonstop all day long. So we have to uncrate everything, we have to get them in inventory, and then we have to turn around and deliver them to the areas that they need to go. That keeps production going all day long. So the same crew is responsible for all of our outbound shipping needs.
Rhoda Schaefer, EHS specialist. HICO is doing everything that the CDC says that we're supposed to do. We are making sure that the employees are informed. We have posters up. We make sure that they understand that they should take their temperatures when they come in from the outside, or when they come into work, that they wash their hands, and that they take care of themselves from a physical and as well as a mental point of view.
Some of the ways that we're combating pandemic spread is we have external contractors that we use to do daily cleaning throughout the offices and through the plant. We daily sanitize surfaces with hospital grade cleaning materials on a regular basis to make sure that everyone here stays healthy. Everyone here is mandated or required to wear masks throughout the day. I don't have my mask on because I'm videoing, but otherwise I would have my mask on to help prevent spread of the virus.
With this investment, Hyosung HICO is committed to serving the North American electric utility market. We wanted to be closer to our customers in an effort to be local. Along with quality and reliability, we feel that being closer to our customers and being as local as possible is another obligation.